Okay, here we go. The video I've been putting off making all day. Guehi to Man City. Let me sort that camera out. Where do you even start with this? It seems like an absolute mess, to be honest with you, but it absolutely extends further back than like just today. Today's not the problem. The problem was summer, and we are like feeling that problem now, 4.5 months later. I made a vid when it was Here We Go that Guehi had signed in what was it, the first it was the first of the month, wasn't it? About 4.5 months ago. And now he's signed for Man City. It's mental what's happened in the last few days, to be honest. The build up to this, not just the move today, not just the confirmation, but all throughout this saga, this build up, we've been like fourth or fifth favourite for this, for Guehi. Mental. Chelsea are ahead of him in bookies odds. Arsenal, Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, Man City. Liverpool weren't even in the race, and considering how close we were to getting it over the line in the first place, how can we be so far behind? There's so much to go through today. A lot of people are putting the blame towards Edwards, towards Hughes. I believe that is absolutely valid. I think that is fair. To be honest, I'm not a massive fan of talking about backroom staff in terms of football talk, because I just know little to next to nothing about ins and outs of what goes on at a football club behind the scenes. But the obvious point to this, the black and white point to this, we went in for Guehi. It were all but done. We didn't want to pay next to nothing in the context of the window, a £4.5 million window. It were next to nothing additional fee to get Guehi in. We didn't do it. That's a fact. We didn't do it. Then he doesn't sign. Obviously, Glass did he threaten to walk or whatever? I get there were factors here, variables that we couldn't really control. I think some sort of replacement for Palace fell through in the last minute, but ultimately it was on Liverpool's watch. And I think people don't speak about the fact that Guehi was our only real like tunnel vision signing. We were so focused on Guehi to the point where the clock ticked over into the first of the month, and we're still talking about Guehi. You look at people like 𝗖𝗵𝗲𝗀𝘀. 𝗖𝗵𝗲𝗀𝗀𝗀 went to Arsenal pretty much under the radar. No one spoke about him. That was done. Bang. 𝗖𝗵𝗲𝗀𝗀, by the way, is a player that we were linked to for about 3 years. We were interested in 𝗖𝗵𝗲𝗀𝗀𝗀 for ages, and I'm very aware it was before Hughes and Edwards that come back into the scene. But we were in for this guy, and they wrapped it up like that. But with Guehi, it was like the entire opposite. And you're thinking, right, well, okay, fine, maybe wait till January to get him. And it was a mistake, but we'll just put it down as a mistake and get him in January. But it was never going to be that simple, was it? Because Guehi was never going to come for free. Because other teams would have been sniffing around Guehi the same as what we would have been doing. But the thing is, other teams have more incentive. Other teams have more balls, to be honest with you. Look at Man City throwing money around there. I think a lot of people are critical of Man City, having spent £500 million since last year or whatever it was. But at the same time, they get things done. The two players I would have really liked to sign this January, obviously ideal world, bearing in mind we just spent £400 million. The two players would have been Guehi and Antoine Semenyo. Man City signed both. That's a team being proactive, isn't it? Look at us, by the wayside. Where are we here? I'm sorry, where are Liverpool? And I guarantee you this, you will get rival fans going. By the way, get into the YouTube chat. We're live now. We're ranting about frigging Liverpool and Guehi. You will get rival fans going. You've spent £400 million in the summer. You don't deserve to sign anyone else. You're spoiled. To an extent, I agree with you. Liverpool spent a lot of money. But where did they spend it? Where did Liverpool spend it? Not in the right areas, clearly, because we're fourth and looking terrible week in, week out. And granted, the manager has to take a lot of that blame, because I don't believe he set us up right. I believe this team's more than good enough to finish above fourth. That's not my point. However, we didn't sign a centre-half. And when you spend £400 million up front, that's what it was. It was an upfront cost. You were making up for the lack of signings the year before. You were making up for 9 players gone out the door. You had to bring in more than 5 players and spend a hefty amount doing it. We did it. We offset £400 million on 6 players. The problem is when you do that, and you have this idea of, okay, let's just get to January and be top of the league. Let's get to January and be second and play some really good stuff with these £400 million worth players on top of an already title-winning side. It's all well and good doing that, but what if you don't come second? What if you aren't first and cruising? Which we are far from that. Miles off the pace right now. You spent all the money. It doesn't allow us to be reactionary. There are so many holes in our team. And we just can't fill the holes because either we've not got the money to do it, not got the budget, we spent it all in summer, or they're, I don't know. Is it negligence? Is it they just simply don't recognise that we are light at the back? Is that it? Maybe Hughes, Edwards, Slot. Maybe they're all fine with just playing a 34-year-old Van Dijk who plays every week and a Konate who's had his worst season since he joined the club, and a Gomez who can't stay fit. I think Gomez is injured literally as I'm filming this. Like, we have 2.5 centre backs. We're an injury away from Endo warming up. Can Mehmet put a tackle in because you have to play centre half at this rate? You can't be reactionary. I've said it on my vid before. It's like if you buy an house but you don't have enough room, don't have enough money aside for if your car breaks or your freezer breaks. What are you gonna do? It feels like we've bought the house and just forgotten the backup reservoir of money. Because when your right back goes down injured, because when your centre half's having a honking season, and when the centre half you bring in Leone does his ACLs out for the season, you can't react because you've spent all your money in the summer just gone. Do you get my point? So I think, obviously, people thought we'd be ahead of where we are, and certainly Hughes, Edwards, that's the whole point of this plan. We're meant to be way ahead of where we are right now, but we aren't. But the problem is we can't fall back on anything because all the money's gone, and all the players we want have gone. The two players I wanted, Guehi and 𝗖𝗵𝗲𝗰𝘀, both gone straight away. By the way, we're only halfway through this window. Halfway through. If the start of this window gets replicated to the second half, my God, I don't even know where we're going to go. Who do you think we should go to centre halves? I've just done a vid today actually. I'm going to post it tomorrow on 𝗖𝗵𝗲𝗰𝗀𝗀. I'm not saying Marco 𝗖𝗵𝗲 is going to be some sort of like Van Dijk replacement or even a Konate replacement. He won't be. But his contract's expiring. He's a Premier League centre half. Fantastic numbers this season, progressive passes, he's great on the ball. 𝗖𝗵𝗲𝗰 is the ace out at Bournemouth now. He's had a decent season for me. And as a player who Arne Slot's coached him before at Feyenoord, he's played 80 or 90 odd games for him at Feyenoord. And I get he's 28 or 29, whatever, but like Joel Matip was at a similar age when he came in, you know what I mean? Pretty sure. I think he was a bit younger actually, Matip. Excuse me. Do you get my point? The solution here, please do get into the YouTube, guys. Please do leave a like. The hair's not coming out. You'll do well to get me reveal that, be honest with you. Yeah, if you're enjoying, please leave a like. I'll be live for ages. I just want to sit and talk, to be fair. I've got a new camera. Do you like it? I think it actually looks really good. I wouldn't mind actually moving it a bit higher, but we're here now. I think it's nice. I think it's decent. Just gonna move it a bit closer. Yes, so for me, I'd be looking at 𝗖𝗵𝗲𝗰𝗀𝗀. I like 𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗏. I think he's the best option we could get. Is that too pie in the sky? I don't know. Sorry about that. That's better. And I'm seeing people say that Guehi's on 300 grand a week at City. Maybe that is true. We couldn't replicate that. We could not even nearly match that. And if that's true, I get why he's gone. And I'm not going to sit here as a bitter Liverpool fan going, well, why is he going to Man City over Liverpool? Like, doesn't he know who we are and what we offer? Like, I'm not being funny. If he had any sense, he'd go to Man City right now. You go into a team who've won the league, 6 in the last 8 years, 9 years? You go into the best manager in the world, you're getting more money. They're doing better this season. I think Liverpool fans need to stop being bitter and like, well, why the hell? I understand the history at Liverpool and I understand just what Liverpool is. And I get why he'd want to come here. But I also get why he'd want to go City. Especially with money. Like, when the money talks, and God, trust me, 300 grand talks. I'd do most things for 300 grand a week. You know what I mean? I mean, City have had a blinder. An absolute blinder. And we're just sat here. Like, what do we do? I think it is a bigger problem than people thinking, you know. People are making out. A centre-back would allow us to do so much more. It wouldn't even just allow Konate to come out of the team. It'd allow... what am I saying there? That words just didn't come out. It would allow the option of a back three. And so many people have been throwing that, we'll do a three-back with Frimpong and 𝗂𝗀𝗃 kind of overlapping, man. Who's in your three? I feel like I must be in selection for this back three because we've got 1.5 centre backs, and you want to play a back three. Good joke, honestly. It's almost a guarantee that Gravenberch will fill in at centre back at some point in the season. You can see it a mile off. That's another problem with Guehi as well. It's like one thing Guehi not signing, it's another thing not being in for anyone else. And it's interesting, isn't it? Because obviously this is all wrapped up now. Guehi's done. Liverpool fans, I get there's a bit of afters in terms of, oh, why didn't he sign for us and why have we not made this happen? I get they're annoyed and emotions right now. But it's done. It's done. Let's move on. Let's move on to number 2 on our list. Because, guys, we must have had a list, right? We must have had some targets. Right, number 2, bang, who is it? We don't have one. Fantastic. I'm seeing no one even vaguely linked to Liverpool in a defensive area. Any area, let's be frank. No, is it just me? I don't know, is it just me? Leone was back in the training video. What? Really? Bit quick, isn't it? Oh my god, fair play. Good recovery. To be fair, they do a lot of off non-contact stuff, don't they? Quite early on, like earlier than you think. Pretty much all of Klopp's good work has been undone. Well, yeah. He signed 4 centre-backs, Leone and 3 this window. Yeah, but, like, Leon, who are those centre-backs? Name them right now, don't stutter. You couldn't name them players. Not being funny. They're all 21, they're all 18. That's not the answer. You need players who can come into the first team right now and play some football in the Premier League. Those 3 players, I'm sure could give it a good go, but they probably can't. They're not ready. They're not there. We need a strong centre back. We need a first team centre back who wouldn't mind sitting on bench for a bit. The issue is you do well to find one. That's why, like 𝗖𝗵𝗲𝗰𝗀, right? I'm not saying 𝗖𝗵𝗲𝗃's going to pull up trees like it's some miracle, right? But at least he'll be happy sitting on the bench. He would understand why that is. But if he is called upon, he'd do a decent job in the Premier League and in the cup games. Arne Slot's used him before. 𝗖𝗵𝗲𝗰, yeah. I mean, my if I could have anyone somewhat realistic, Van der Ven. I think Van der Ven would really suit playing next to Van Dijk. Really suit playing next to him. I think we need that physicality as well, you know. I think we need something there. You look at our aerial threat from, I mean, not just set pieces, but from crosses in general. Like, we are poor defending in our own box, attacking headers. Murillo, no, not for me. Not for me. Sebastian, mate, thank you very much from America. I appreciate that, mate. Thank you. Van Dijk would have to move to the right. I mean, that's why I love Guehi. Guehi can play what he's right footed. He plays on the left. He can play on the right. He can play in the middle of a back three. I'm sure he can play on the left of a back three. It'd have been perfect. People are even saying he could play right back. It's like, what the hell? Can this guy stick him up front? It need be here. Van Hecke, yeah. A lot of people don't rate him, you know. I really do. I think on the ball he's excellent. And I assume, I don't know, but I assume his numbers would back that up. 𝗖𝗵𝗲𝗃 wouldn't handle the step up. I don't know. It's hard to say though, isn't it? Hello, do leave a like and join the YouTube chat. Thank you. Oh, hell. Same username as that, by the way. God. That's gone everywhere. Wow. Mate, a $10 donation saying cheers from 𝗕𝗵𝗲𝗀𝗻𝗀_Will. Will, thank you very much for that, mate. $10, all going back into the channel. As you can see, the setup's upgraded, the camera's upgraded. It's the first ever stream with new camera. I hope it's somewhat better, and it's only going to get better from here. So thank you very much for that. It all goes back into the channel. Another donation, bloody hell, from Simon Williams, 8318. Seems to me like they've got a top 50 Wonder Kids on FM, yeah, and signed the first 3 centre. Exactly, yeah. I mean, I've never heard of them, but time will tell, eh? Normally, I would like the idea of bringing in 3 centre backs, all young and all starring at the under 21 World Cup, whatever it was, 18 World Cup. But now probably is it now the time? Yeah, now's fine. If you have 3 or 4 top centre backs already there, we don't. Simon, thanks for your £5. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. Absolute joke. We flopped Guehi from Red Skull, one of the members on the stream. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, mate. Thank you. Need to get Konate's contract. Jesus. I mean, you wouldn't think he wanted the extension, you know what I mean, with how he's playing this season. I will concede, though, actually, and give him credit here. He's played really well recently. Last 4 or 5 games, he's been really good. I think a lot of people are quick to criticise Konate and dig him out and put him as the poster boy for the blame, but then don't match that effort and give the same energy when he does play well, but in a positive light. No one ever speaks about it. Actually, I think Konate is nailed on to take over Van Dijk. I mean, firstly, in terms of profile-wise, Konate is like half the player Van Dijk is on the ball. And I think he, to be fair, always will be. He's not going to be a like-for-like in terms of that ball play, that calm centre-back. He's the exact opposite. Konate is really impromptu. He's really reactive. He's really erratic. It couldn't be any further from Van Dijk, if you like. In terms of the size, in terms of the size, that is literally it. I see the similarities there. I'm so angry right now. Charlie, tell me why. Konate realistically is a top-level centre-back. He's just out of form. Yeah, I know he's low on confidence, but he's great overall. Well, he's good overall. He's not great. He's nowhere near world-class, like nowhere near. And he used to be. I think he used to be near world-class. I'd probably say he's never actually been at that level, though. He's just a good centre-back who never plays a 7 out of 10. He's either a 4 or a 9. I've never seen, by the way, any centre-back ever be that inconsistent. Like, in terms of that good of a performance to that bad. 𝗕𝗵𝗲𝗰𝗀𝗀 with the £5, mate. Thank you very much for that, L. I have a really... Let me just read it on that left one there. I have a really bad feeling we're not even going to get a centre-half this window. I've seen it before when we haven't spent a penny like in 2021. I agree with you, Smithy. Thank you for your £5, mate. It all goes back into the channel. Really appreciate it. Do come into the YouTube, guys. We're live now. 𝗕𝗵𝗲𝗀𝗀𝗃 LFC. New camera. Come and check it out. I think you're right. I don't think we will sign a centre-back. And I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't. It's going to happen now, though, in my opinion. What's the point in waiting until the last week? What's the point in waiting until the last day? What's the point in waiting until the last minute? We've been there with Guehi. We've done it. Deadline day. Deadline hour. Literally dead. I was sat watching it. Doesn't sign. You can't, you can't leave it too late. The problem with Guehi was, obviously, we pursued him as, like, the only signing. We're so tunnel vision. Put all our eggs in one basket there. And then when it didn't work, we're all sat there going, well, that's a shame. It's not a shame, though. You've got to diversify. Right, guys, I'm quitting the live on TikTok. I'm going to be live on YouTube. 𝗕𝗵𝗲𝗀𝗀𝗃 LFC. Do come and get involved. Thank you. Yeah, you've got to diversify. You know the game £1 million drop? Just play the £1 million drop, guys, with centre-halves. Just put a bit 30 million there. 30, you know what I mean? Just play the game a bit more. Gomez against Barnsley, I thought it had a bad game, to be frank. We need a winger more than centre-back. Not for me. Not for me. A centre-back's been our priority since, like, the second the transfer window closed. Konate's stats are better than... Yeah, but so what? I'm just watching these players, and Guehi's a better player than Konate. Guehi gets in our team over Konate. Van der Ven, like... Based on this season, Van der Ven gets in over Konate. But Konate can absolutely be a better player than Van der Ven. I'm 100% convinced on that. Do I think he's a better player right now? Probably not. In terms of this season, he probably not had a better season. But there'll be absolute competition there. And I think they are at probably more of a similar level to Gomez and Konate in terms of competing against each other. raising the level, a bit of healthy competition, like Bradley and Frimpong on the right, like Robertson and 𝗂𝗀𝗃 on the left. I think you need that in the team. And I think a massive problem with Konate this season has been there's no, 𝗵𝗲, for example. There's no backup. It is just Konate. Konate will play whether you like it or not, whether he's playing well or not. We don't have the luxury of rotating Konate and dropping him, to be honest, because the next up is not particularly great. And I know Gomez had a decent season, but all them good games coming at right back. I want to talk a bit about the right back today, actually, on this live stream. Might call this, I was going to call it Late Night Liverpool. That's quite a good name. Thoughts? Late Night Liverpool. Come live at like 10 PM every day, maybe. Something. I think people would watch that. I do. I think people would. If people know I'm live at a certain time, I think they'll get involved more. So I'm trying to do that more often. What was I saying then? Yeah, right backs, really interesting. Arne Slot really dismissed the idea of Ramsey. Did you see it in press conference today? He was like, yeah, I'm keeping Ramsey around just as a good backup, and it's like, I've got no intention of using him. I think we've got better options there. Great. Fantastic. I don't know if he meant that wrong. I don't know if that mean to come out of his mouth. Sounded quite blunt in my opinion. Arne Slot said at least twice now, he sees first and second choice of right backs. In fact, he mentioned midfield players playing in there, which is a massive concern. He mentioned, obviously, Frimpong and Gomez. And I would somewhat agree. I think, right, if you ask me tomorrow, if we have a game tomorrow, it would just start right back. It would be them two as the first two options, if they're both fit. Frimpong, Gomez. The problem with that is, it's a massive problem. I guess you could flip it and say it's a positive, but it isn't for me. They're so different. These two players couldn't be any more different, Frimpong and Gomez. I mean, Gomez is a centre-half playing full-back, and Frimpong's almost a winger playing full-back. Gomez is massive. He's a big fella, quite stiff on the ball, certainly in comparison to other players in our team. Frimpong's the exact opposite. He's tiny, he's rapid, he wants to run at players. Gomez couldn't run. I was going to say Gomez couldn't run his nose. That doesn't make any sense, but you get my point. Gomez don't want to run with the ball, don't want to dribble. And they're both being asked to play in the same role as a wing-back, as an attacking wing-back. That obviously suits Frimpong more so, but Gomez had some decent games this year. Against West Ham, I think was maybe the best player on the pitch as a wing-back there. It's like, I would rather... I look at 𝗂𝗃𝗃 on the other side. Say 𝗂𝗃𝗃, for example. It's almost like, sometimes he's got to sit back, maybe so much when Frimpong's playing, he's got to sit back and offer that counter. When Gomez is playing and more of a defensive right back than Frimpong, then 𝗂𝗃𝗃 can get further forward, in theory. But 𝗂𝗃𝗃 must be thinking, well, I can't work out whether I'm coming or going here. Because the right back opposite me is changing every single week. We've had 5 players. How many players have we had play at right back this year? Just go through it now. Bradley, Ramsey, Frimpong, Gomez, 𝗖𝗵𝗲𝗯, Jones. Has anyone else played right back this year? Has Endo played right back at any time? That's 6 right backs. What the hell? That'd be most in the league, that. You know, that's probably the most in the league in terms of rotation for a position. That's definitely the most in our team. Like, how many strikers have we had this year? 𝗍𝗍 Ekitike, Gakpo's played there, Wirtz has played as a 9, Chiesa's played as a 9. That's 5. Salah played as a 9? Like an actual 9? Don't think so. You know what I mean? Like, right, it should be right back. You should have 2 right backs to last you the full season. Bang. Endo played right back against Bournemouth. Yeah, he did actually. Yeah, that's true. 6 right backs. 7 right backs. Oh my god. Yeah, it's nuts. And Lucas Stevenson played there in pre-season. 8 right backs. Mental, mate. I think if we don't spend for a centre-back in Jan, I think we're going to sack Slot at the end of the season. Interesting. I think they're backing him. Do we have a buyback clause on any players? Yeah, well, 𝗵𝗲, I might as well rant about this while we're here. Going through the entire squad. I did a vid yesterday saying about all the Liverpool sells in the summer that they're not, most of them aren't mistakes. Like, I don't regret it. Like selling Diaz wasn't a mistake. It just wasn't. The mistake was not replacing him. And I would argue Liverpool chucked €250 million at replacing him in the forward line in the way of Ekitike and 𝗖𝗵𝗲, and even chucking Florian Wirtz there. They chucked a lot of money at it to replace the goals that obviously Jota and Diaz and Nunes certainly left. They did replace him. They didn't replace him. I want to talk about Quansah though. I don't believe selling Quansah was a mistake. I really don't believe selling Quansah was a mistake. In no world is selling Quansah for like £35-40 million a mistake. With or without a buyback clause. It just so happens that we've got one. We've got a buyback clause. And we've got 35 million quid for him. Quansah. Like, people have some insane, like... Did you rate Quansah? I'm sorry, did you... When I looked at that when it came through, 35 million quid, like, is that a joke? Like, I'm not being harsh. Maybe it sounds harsh. I thought, wow, bite your hand off for that. 30... He wasn't playing. He was hardly playing for us. I thought he was error-prone. Don't get me wrong, he's a young centre-back. He's a young defender. Gee, I mean, like... It's not a mistake for me. And the mistake there, again, was not replacing him. The mistake was not bringing in Mark Guehi. That's the mistake. In isolation, selling Quansah is a good bit of business. Really good bit of business. People were saying, well, like, selling Tyler Morton was a mistake. At the time, no one was particularly bothered. I'm not being funny, no one was particularly arsed. Tyler Morton's gone into France, done great things there in France. And now you're looking at Liverpool, who can't put good performances together. The midfield struggling at times. You're looking at Tyler Morton going over there, playing some good stuff in a French league, by the way, which is really poor in my opinion. You might disagree. Maybe it was the right choice selling Morton. Maybe we didn't sell him for enough. Maybe we should have put a buyback clause on him. Did we put a buyback clause on him? I don't think so. Maybe we should have loaned him. But ultimately, don't affect what we are in this season. If we had Tyler Morton this season, I guarantee he would not have played any more than anyone else. He'd have played no more than Jones, certainly, and no more than the other three. He'd have played more than Endo. That had been where we are right now with Morton. Again, Diaz ain't a mistake. Like, ultimately, Diaz wanted to go. And I understand why he wanted to go, in terms of us not giving him, matching what he thought he was worth in terms of wages. Maybe he just wanted a new challenge. I don't know. But he's gone to Bayern Munich and kicked on, done really well. Way better than when he was at Liverpool in terms of numbers, I'd say. It certainly started that way anyway. I've not checked it in recent weeks. And then you're getting Liverpool fans going, wow, it was a mistake. Look at what he's doing in Germany now. What a mistake letting him go. It's like, hold on a second. Are you just forgetting what happened at the time? Diaz were almost hounded up by a lot of this fan base. Most of the people saying selling Diaz were a mistake and telling me to watch him in Germany now are the same people who bullied him out. Well, not directly bullied, but you know what I mean. People wanted to see the back of Diaz. People couldn't wait to see him go. He's not good enough. Get him gone. 65, was it 70 million pounds? Get the money, take the money, let's get what a we've robbed them, we've daylight robbery. Oh, he's doing quite well. Oh, it was a mistake. Shut up. Seriously, shut up. I think with the money we signed 𝗖𝗵𝗲𝗰𝗀𝗀 with, we could have bought a decent centre-back and winger. Yeah, I hear that. But again, people weren't saying that at the time. People were not saying that when he signed. It was a story for about a week about 𝗖𝗵𝗲. Are they going to sign 𝗖𝗵𝗲? Would this propel Liverpool to the title? Yeah. Literally everyone, most people said Liverpool will retain the title. Most people said Liverpool win the title with the improvements in the team. And win it again. No one was looking at that thinking, 𝗖𝗵𝗲, what, really? 𝗖𝗵𝗲? People are going, there's a world-class forward there joining the already world-class team. Yeah, a lot of people were saying about the centre-back, and for me, Guehi falling through at the end was a real grey cloud over that window. It would have been the perfect window, in my opinion, with Guehi. But even still, say Guehi was in our team this year. Just say he was in, imagine every time you've seen Konate this year, just imagine it was Guehi. Maybe you might get a few less mistakes. You might have had a few better, a more, I don't know, complete centre-back, more reliance on him. That's all that would have happened. We might have conceded a few less goals. We'll have probably scored less as well at the other end. Konate scored, what, 2? Couple this year. We might have done a bit better with Guehi in this team. Mark Guehi, coming in for Konate this year, newsflash, would not have got us much further forward than 4th. Sorry, it just wouldn't have. People are making out like it's the end of the world that we didn't sign Guehi. Oh, he's gone to Man City. He's like, this season's done. Hughes, this is on you. You've got this to answer for. Like, yeah, I get it's probably their fault more than anyone else's. Very aware. But we would not be anywhere near first with Mark Guehi in the summer. Now, even if we brought Guehi in now, this season's still done, in my opinion. Given the football we're playing, it will not be saved or nothing will be changed simply by bringing in a centre-back. And I understand the frustration. Well, okay then, if Guehi come in, then we could replace Van Dijk long-term, and I get that. Long-term, I get your point. But certainly not now. A centre-back would not change anything, in my opinion. With this hat, my hair gets so itchy, honestly. It's so bad. I can't. I literally can't. I mean, look, like, right? You can see that's not right. I'm not going to show you the whole. Like, that is mental. That's not right in any capacity. There should not be that much head on the show. It's bonkers what they've done to that hair. I'm literally fuming, and I've got a film. I've put on there, by the way, the podcast, the twouptoppod with me and Callum. I've got to film that on Monday with this hat on again. People are going to think I don't take it off. I filmed 3 videos with this hat on today. Like bloody thingy from Home Alone. Man City offered more wages yet. 300 grand I'm seeing. 300 grand a week. Well, you couldn't have offered that, not even nearly. He must be there. If he's on 300 grand a week, I mean, I don't believe he is. Must be around 200. Like, if he's on 300 grand, surely he's on more than everyone but Haaland. Who else in that team's on 300 grand? Roger can't be. Mad, isn't it? Is that relative lucky? Yeah, lucky. I've only seen him a handful of times. Guehi changes the system. It's a risk. We are a safe team, and going 2 or 3 is very risky. We don't have the legs in midfield. Yeah, I do agree. We bought the best young centre-backs available. Yeah, but we can't use them now, can we? It's pointless. As in right now. Like, it'd be great in 3 years, I'm sure, when we've got 3 young centre-halves who are all fighting for a first-team place. But at this moment in time, maybe not this season because it's a write-off, but next season, who have we got? We can't play these 21-year-olds, these 18-year-olds who've all come in at the same time. How long can Slot keep delivering boring football but get results and keep his job? I give him the rest of the season. I think you're pretty generous there, mate. I think a lot of people are dumb. I think Marmoush is on... Oh, yeah, Marmoush. That's one of them weird ones where it's like, he just comes in on obscene money and he never plays. I'd take a Marmoush, tell you now. Not for 300 grand a week, though. What would it take for Slot to be sacked, in your opinion? Vincent, for me, I just think it's an early Champions League exit. That is it for me. If he goes out in next round at Champions League, I think he's gone. On the spot. Certainly FA Cup. Is Alonso the best? For me, yeah. A lot of people are saying people are saying Nagelsmann, people are saying... I mean, people are like, well, Luis Enrique, I think, is going to be a great option. It's like, what are we doing here? Granted, he might want a new challenge, given he's dominated, well, the world, I guess, winning Champions League with PSG and certainly the French League. But other than that, I don't see any reason why I would leave, apart from getting a new challenge and getting away from France. Like, this is one of the best managers in the world. And don't get me wrong, Liverpool can absolutely attract that. I'm not saying we can't. I just don't believe he will leave. And that whole article about him wanting to leave, I don't... Was that real? Him not wanting to sign a new contract? For me, it's Alonso. A lot of people saying Fabregas. No for me. Alonso for me is clear by some distance. They're paying Guehi double what we're paying Alisson. Yeah, it's mad. My thing with Alonso is I want to do a separate stream on Alonso. I think it makes so much sense. I think so many people are wrongly using the Real Madrid failure against him. I mean, as a manager, you cannot be defined by your success or failure at Real Madrid. It's impossible. It tells you nothing if you fail at Real Madrid. It's such a unique club with the personalities and the characters and the profile of the club. Obviously, the status and the status of it. You can't compare it to any other job in world football, let alone Liverpool. He couldn't handle Mbappe. He couldn't handle Vinicius. Right, great. I know what he can handle. He can handle the German division and go and beat anything. That's what he can. That's what he can handle. That's what he can do, and that's what I'm looking at. Yeah, there's a big red flag on his CV. Failed at Real Madrid. Failed. Big capitals. Failed. But it's a bit of a red herring for me because I've seen what he can do in Germany with some of the players that we've taken from that team, 𝗬𝗏 and Frimpong. If anyone can get a tune out of them two players, not saying that they're not been singing this year because Frimpong's been good when he's played, and injuries prevented a lot of that success, and 𝗬𝗏 has been okay. But if someone can really ramp that up and not just make them play well individually, but make them play well with the team and get the team building around them, it's Alonso because he's done it before. You know, obviously played for the club before. That instant tie, that bond with the fans will be there as soon as he walks through the doors. He doesn't have to do any work like off the bat to get the fans on side. They're already in. They're in. They're locked into this thing. The football he plays as well is really nice. Obviously in Germany, plays some great stuff. And I think as well, I want to open this to the comments. I think you'll get a lot out of a lot of players. Who would be a player in your opinion if Alonso came in? Who would be a player you're looking at going, he's going to kick on? He would really fit that 3-4-3 that he likes to play, 3-4-2-1. I would say 𝗬𝗏𝘀𝘀. I think 𝗬𝗏𝘀𝘀 as a left wing back, that's where you want him in the pitch. Not as a defensive fullback. Left wing back bombing on. Like, what were he called? Grimaldo. Well, yeah, Frimpong and 𝗬𝗏, I mean, they're the two, aren't they? They're the two he used, but I mean, someone that he's not used before. I don't want a 3-back as a Liverpool team. I get that, you know. I actually get the idea of identity and some sort of. It's not a philosophy. Liverpool don't have a philosophy. We're not Ajax or Barcelona. You know what I mean? But I get not wanting Liverpool to play a back three. But ultimately, I want to win games. And if Alonso wants to play a back three to win games, we're playing a back three. Load the back three up. Low-key Jones. Yeah, Jones would be great in there with, well, 𝗖𝗵𝗲𝗰𝗀. All of them would. I'm trying to think of that team, that Leverkusen team. Like 𝗧𝗂, we've not really got a 𝗧𝗂. That's a massive thing, you know, for me. I know, like, my dad mentions this quite a lot in terms of Liverpool being one of our biggest weaknesses is not having Henderson, is not having a vocal presence on the pitch. Yeah, we've got Van Dijk and fine. We've got 𝗖𝗵𝗲𝗀, who I think's a future captain and does a great job in there. But other than that, I'm not seeing much grabbing the team by the scruff of the neck and dragging them over. If it ain't 𝗖𝗵𝗲𝗀 and 𝗕𝗂𝘃 leading by just pure footballing example, I don't know who it is. Henderson was never our best player. At no point in his Liverpool career was he our best player. Not from start to finish. Never our best player. But he were always probably one of our most important. Henderson. And I feel like 𝗖𝗵𝗲𝗀 is leading by example because he's our best player. I think 𝗕𝗂𝘃 is doing the same thing. I think Van Dijk's been doing the same thing for years now. Not saying Van Dijk isn't a good captain, he's not a good communicator. He is, I'm sure he is. But he's one of the best. He always has been. If he isn't leading by his vocal presence, then he's leading by his ability, by being one of our best players. We need someone, for me, in that midfield just to get us going. And I don't think we've got it. I mean, for me, McAllister ain't it. Gravenberch ain't it. Jones is the nearest we got to that, in my opinion. I think Jones being from, well, I guess, around the corner, he knows exactly what it takes to be a Liverpool player. He's never, ever not given enough. He spoke out, didn't he, after that Champions League game on CBS, being like, this ain't good enough. These book our ideas up and it were right. We need a Gattuso style play. Yeah, I mean, yeah, such a difficult profile to come by, though, isn't it? That I'd love someone like a Bruno Guimaraes, just a midfielder who gives a bit at times. I think sometimes Gravenberch is too nice. I think sometimes McAllister, I mean, I don't know if it's him being too nice, maybe just not being good enough. I don't know this season. I think Jones gives a bit. I think Szoboszlai gives a bit. But for me, Gravenberch is great, but he's a very elegant footballer. I mean, yeah, Tonali would be fantastic, mate. I agree with that. Kamara, yeah, brilliant player. I'd say both of them. Wijnaldum, well, not sure Wijnaldum back in this team now, but I get your point. Now, I know Gravenberch is an 8, but he's playing as a 6. He's our deepest midfielder every week. Imagine tonight at Liverpool, yeah, then mate, that would be so good. I think he's one of my favourite players, certainly midfield players in the league. Tonali. I actually watched him, weirdly, I was at San Siro, and I watched him live. Amazing player. I can't believe none of our players jumped on Martinelli when he was put... Yeah. Yeah. I imagine next season's game with Arsenal is going to be interesting with Martinelli and that. We need almost like a brute off the ball. Not saying someone like Szoboszlai isn't a hard worker, but we do, and I think so many teams have that and we don't. I do think we have it with Szoboszlai, by the way, and I think Jones can be that, but Jones just isn't. He's not big enough. Like he's not. I don't know. He's quite nice at times. Jones, his attribute in terms of that, what do you call that? Where it's like not temperament, tenacity. Jones has great tenacity for me. Shows great tenacity, sorry, and he has a great temperament. But I just don't think. I don't know. Some players you just get the impression like they're gonna hurt you if they tackle you. I don't think Jones is gonna do that. I think Szoboszlai's got that Van Dijk, that Gerrard thing. Sorry, you know, he puts a tackle on you and it hurts. It looks like it hurts. Like it goes through you. Szoboszlai does that. And like I'm not saying we should sign, yeah, like you said there, Liam, Joe Linton. Don't want just some bloody idiot with a hard hat on just sprinting into people like a Polinia. But I want a midfielder who can give a bit. And I don't think McAllister's that, and I certainly don't think Gravenberch is that as good as he is. Like I think that's why Endo resonates with so many fans. No one says Endo is like very good. No one's ever said that. He only takes you so far, Endo. But what he does always guarantee is work rate, his intensity, his energy. Endo knows the level. He knows the minimum requirement, right? And he gives a bit. And he puts a tackle in when others won't. Wow. Mate, that's £20. That is incredibly generous. I've seen you in here before, by the way, with David Silva profile picture. I recognise the profile picture. Underground Wizard, thank you very much for the 20. Let's get a W in the chat for everyone. W, put a W in. Mate, thank you very much. It all goes back into the stream. New camera, so thanks to donations like that, we can upgrade the setup, and hopefully the next step is to bring people on board in terms of working on the channel in like a year or two's time. We can have some sort of, I don't know, someone behind the scenes. I think that'll be really cool. Does Guehi and Semenyo don't win us the league? All right. Does Guehi and Semenyo don't win us? You've lost me in terms of the grammar here, mate. But they increase our odds of greatly to win about. Yes. What do you think Guehi would have been sold for if it was in? I mean, Guehi, he's a 70-odd million pound player, 75 million quid player. I say certainly 65, 70. Like Guehi's is nation's best centre back, comfortably. One of our best players at last tournament. Yeah, can play off both feet, can play for either side. I don't want to talk about Guehi because ultimately we're not getting him, but he would have absolutely been a 70 million pound player, and you've signed him for 20 million quid. It's like, what a deal that is. I know it was in last 6 months of the contract, but still, what a deal. Thank you very much for that, mate. I'm actually going to dip after that. That was a very generous donation, and I think that sets the tone for this stream. It's been a great stream, and I'm going to leave it there. There's 82 people in here. Hope you're all well. I've been live for 45 minutes and my throat's really hurting. I'll be live tomorrow after the Liverpool-Burnley game at about half 5-ish. 5:30. Stay tuned. Set your notifications on so you know I'll be live, and hopefully we can win the game. My preview for the game is already out now. It's been posted. Go and watch my team selection. Have a good one. Please do leave a like, and I'll see you in the next one. Ta-da.